Okay guys, today what we're going to look at is inequalities and graphs. Now you've been solving inequalities already. Okay, you've looked at solving linear equalities such as x plus 2 is greater than 0. Okay, so you know that if you have x plus 2 is greater than 0, the first thing you do is minus 2 from both sides. Okay, and then we get x is greater than minus 2. But what does that actually mean? Okay, what that means is that x can take any value greater than minus 2 and it will still fit the equation. So if we put in x is minus 1, then you get minus 1 plus 2. Minus 1 plus 2 is 1, therefore 1 is greater than 0, and that is correct. Okay, so we want to look at how to graph this though, how to show these values firstly on a number line. Okay, so if you have x is greater than minus 2, okay, let's forget the rest for the moment. X is greater than minus 2. Okay, what we do when we're showing these on a number line is firstly we're going to circle that value. Okay, so the value in this case is minus 2. That's our first value that x could possibly be. In this case it can't be minus 2. And you'll notice that I drew an open circle, it's empty. That's because x can't actually be minus 2, okay? To show that it's all values greater than minus 2, all we do is we draw a line this way, okay? And this is showing the inequality of x is greater than minus 2. And as I said, you will notice the x cannot be minus 2. So the circle is not filled in. Okay, so we leave that circle empty because the x cannot actually be minus 2. It's everything above minus 2. Okay, now let's try this again. All right, I've made some more of these lovely number lines for us to work with. Okay. So we'll try this again with a new value. So this time, in this case, what we're going to look at is we're going to look at the graph of x, I want to use red, x is less than or equal to 3. Okay, so again, we're going to circle our value that x is at maximum, and that's 3 in this case, and we're colouring it in because you'll see that in this case, x was less than or equal to. So it's or equal to, therefore we colour it. Okay. And now we draw a line going down because x is all the values below below 3. Sorry. So that means x can be 2, it can be 1, it can be 0, it can be any of these numbers below here, including 3, and any values in between them as well. Okay, and as I said, in this case, the x can be 3. Therefore, the circle is filled in. Okay, so we colour it in to show that. Okay, so this is linear inequalities. So let's try one more just to make sure we've got the hang of it. Okay, this is our number line. And let's say this time we're going to look at, fine, x is greater than or equal to minus 1. Okay, so this is what we're going to look at this time. Okay, so in this case, x is greater than or equal to minus 1. So we start at minus 1. We're going to draw a circle around it. Okay, now it's including minus 1, so therefore we're going to colour it in. Okay, and all our values above minus 1 are included in this inequality. Okay, so that's how it works. Now sometimes we're going to get it the other way around. So we might give you the image on the number line. Okay, so for example, I might give you something like here and this way. And I might say to you, please tell me what is the inequality that represents this, this graph. Okay, now in this case, you can see that the number that was circled is -2. So we know that we're going to have x and we're going to have -2 here. And then you just need to decide what symbol is going to go in between. Okay, now you can see that our x values are all below -2. So that means we know that it's definitely less than. And then you just need to check, is the circle colored in or not? In this case, the circle is not colored in, so we're going to leave it as x is less than -2. Okay, we'll try another one. Okay, so for this one, let's use purple for something different. We're going to do this here, and we're going this way. Okay, so in this case, we know again, we're always going to have, we're always going to have our x here. Okay, our number that we have circled is 0, and we have all numbers that are above 0. So x has to be values above 0, therefore we're making it greater than. Okay, and in this case, the circle is again colored in, so it's greater than or equal to. Okay. Now, we have a few harder ones, of course, and these are the ones that are going to be important for the rest of the unit and also very important to you next year. Okay, in both Wisconda R and B. All right, so let's say for something different that I give you from here this way and from here this way. So this time we have both options. Okay, so we have to look a little bit more carefully at this one because x is from -2, so x, and we have -2, and in this case it's less than -2. Okay, so x is all values lower than -2. It's also, x is also all values greater than 3. Okay, now in the past, we've worked with situations where we can have two answers before. We did that when we did parabolas. And what we told you at that point is that you need to remember that we always write the v in between for or. So x is less than -2 or x is greater than 3. Okay? So that's a fairly nice one. They're pretty straightforward. This next one here is the one that confuses people. So what we're going to do now is we will do from here up to here and everything in between. Okay, so this one's a little bit harder. All right, now we know in this case that x is in between -1 and 3. So we actually write exactly that. So you put your -1 first and your 3 second, and the x in between. We always put the lowest one first, okay? Then you just need to think about what the arrows are going to do. Now, -1 is smaller than x, okay? X is not smaller than -1. So -1 is smaller than x, and x is smaller than 3. And in this case, we have colored the circles in, so we always also get the less than or equal to sign here. Okay? And that's really as hard as this is going to